Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Dr. Farous bin Aziz and I am from Universiti Malaysia Sabah. I'm here to present a paper entitled Improving English Persuasive Writing in Malaysia, a recommendation. Persuasive writing challenges the writer to change the minds of their readers regarding real-world issues and help to resolve conflicts. It is crucial for students to master persuasive writing since argumentative skills are important for writing research papers during tertiary level education. However, students do not receive enough exposure to the genre since they're exposed only in Form 4 and Form 5. This paper aims to recommend a new framework that can help students develop, improve, and master their persuasive writing skills. This is done by identifying the features of Malaysian secondary school students' persuasive essays and determining the factors that influence their essays' quality. Now, normally, classroom instruction is exam-oriented and instructor-centered, meaning that it mainly focuses on teaching students what they need to know to get good marks in the exam. However, learning should be the pursuit of knowledge. Now, during the classroom instruction, the lessons focus mainly on narrative and descriptive genres, which are pretty generic. Another problem is ESL students tend to do code switching between L1 and L2 during writing. What I mean is they usually try to translate from their first language to their second language during the writing process. For them to improve as writers, the teacher needs to adapt an effective teaching strategy to help the students improve their persuasive writing skills. Alright, so various writing models have been developed over the decades, but I picked Tome's model as the best because it's pretty straightforward and it divides the elements of persuasive writing into two types. Number one is they have claim, grounds, and warrants as the main elements and qualifier, rebuttal, and backing as the optional elements. So what I mean by the main elements is claim, ground, and warrants. They help to develop the foundation of an essay or foundation for an argument, I mean. Because when you start with the claim, support it with grounds, and justify it with warrants. The optional elements are used mainly to help strengthen the main element. Rebuttal, qualifier, and backing here are these optional elements that help strengthen it. Rebuttal is mainly the counter argument that you recognize. Qualifiers are words used to control the strength of your argument, and backing is additional support for your warrant. What we know so far is reading strongly influences the students' persuasive writing and critical thinking skills. And the teachers play an active role in the students' critical thinking development, as in they have to be agents to help facilitate it and encourage it. There are several social and cognitive factors that strongly influence the writer's ability to compose a strong persuasive arguments. These include reading, practice, the teacher's influence, and the student's motivation. Over the decades, several studies have been conducted to explore the factors that influence students' persuasive writing quality. What I've discovered is students who do not possess an expert level of persuasive writing skills often write with less complex paragraphs with shorter sentences and simpler vocabulary. Now let's get into the methodology. For this study, I had 150 students from 3 different schools in the Klang area participate, as well as an ESL teacher from each school. As for the instruments, are essay samples used to examine the students' persuasive writing level. And then a scoring rubric to help grade essays to divide them into high scoring, average scoring, and low scoring. Then we have questionnaires which are used to determine factors that influence the students' persuasive writing skills according to their perception. And then interview questions which are used to determine factors that influence the students' persuasive writing skills according to the teacher's perception. Now, let's discuss the results. The essay samples show that the students have a basic grasp of the persuasive elements presented by Thomas' model, but are unable to skillfully use the optional elements. Now the table we see here shows that the difference between the students with high, low, and average scores and the features of their persuasive essays. Okay, so for high-scoring students, the essays are well written and organized, coherently and cohesively. They provide a full background of a clear stance and thesis statement in the introduction. The body paragraphs are written in the typical CGW, claim, grounds, and warrant pattern, according to Tolman. In the body paragraph, the topic sentence is the claim and supporting details are the grounds. And finally, the last sentence or the concluding sentence is typically the warrant. Only some of the essays make use of the optional elements, but not to their full potential. And the conclusion for each essay is shown to be done very well and provide a summary and reaffirmation of the stance. Now, average scoring essays were seen as having sufficient content, but with some errors in vocabulary, grammar, and spelling. They have a brief introduction, but they manage to provide a stance and thesis statement along with a bit of background for the topic. Like the high-scoring essays, the body paragraphs are also well written, providing a clear topic sentence and sufficient supporting details. There is a lack of warrant at the end of their body paragraphs. They also fail to employ optional elements like backing, rebuttal, and qualifiers. A brief conclusion which reaffirms the stance, but the summary is not detailed enough to make a proper conclusion, unfortunately. And finally, for the low-scoring essays, we've learned that they have low quality because they have numerous errors in vocabulary, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. They use only simple words and short sentences. Their essays were incomplete or too short. They only have a short introduction, which rarely includes a property statement or a stance. The introduction lacks a background. They have a short body paragraph, which lacks any sufficient detail. And the conclusion is far too brief, which lacking in summary of the content as they skip straight to reaffirming their stance if they have stated it before. While the complete essay follows the basic CGW pattern for persuasive essay, there are just too many errors and not enough content to score a higher grade. Okay, so that was the essay samples. Now the questionnaires revealed that students believe that the following factors have a strong influence on their persuasive writing skills: the teacher's teaching ability, the student's general knowledge, the student's grammar and vocabulary, the student's ability to fulfill the task, spelling, speaking English outside the classroom, and interacting with people outside of the class in English. And then the interview reveals that teachers believe that the students do not read enough to build up their critical thinking or general knowledge. So here's a framework to implement focus on persuasive writing. So I did this framework covers several levels, so I'm going to go through them one by one. The first level is individual. Students need to motivate themselves so that they can start working on improving the persuasive writing skills. 2. Students need to start reading more and do more persuasive practice. 3. Students need to practice using English outside of the classroom to improve their fluency. And 4. Students need to form discussion groups online so that they can learn how to argue about specific topics. They can start by posting about the importance of persuasive writing skills. Next, the classroom level. In the classroom, the teacher should encourage the students to self-learn when outside the classroom. The teacher may still provide guidance to steer them in the right direction. 2. Teachers can create and formulate fun in-class activities, encourage discussion and the exchange of ideas. In the classroom, the teacher do step-by-step learning, beginning with the basics of persuasive writing, such as vocabulary, tone, content, constructed ideas, and organization style. And teachers should also familiarize themselves with Aristotle's persuasive ideas. Next, school level. The teacher should work together with the administration to encourage persuasive writing mastery. And then organize school level activities such as interclass debates, set up reading stations, and organize seminars, workshops for both teachers and students. At the ministerial level, They should make persuasive writing training compulsory in Form 1 and then continue on. This allows more time for students to master persuasive writing since SPM has a persuasive essay questions. Stress the importance of English persuasive writing skills for future careers such as advertising, law, and politics. Have English teachers take persuasive writing courses as part of their training. Focus on Tolman's persuasive elements. Give teachers an incentive to attend a master level training locally and abroad so that they can be masters in the art of persuasive writing. They will use this knowledge and then national. Encourage national international level activities. And then encourage activities that stress the importance of English fluency. National level debate competition, national level persuasive writing contests, public speaking forums, and open parliamentary sessions for school students to witness. What you see here is a concept for a model to teach persuasive writing. First, it will begin with classroom instruction. First, the teacher will be taught about the Thomas model. Then it will follow with classroom instruction, which involves audience identification, meaning this is where the teacher teaches the students how to identify the audience. Then we head into persuasive writing instruction. At this stage, the teacher explains elements of Thomas model using model essays to help identify the elements and how they function in the persuasive argument. After that, the teacher will help the students learn how to develop their persuasive right arguments on paper. This begins with having the students read to increase the general knowledge and also discussing and debating on various topics. This practice should be done at least once a week and should lead to the improvement of the students' persuasive writing quality. However, if it doesn't happen, you can start from the beginning again. So this has to be repeated so it'll stick with the students. Now, conclusion and recommendations. First, the students' persuasive writing ability is influenced by their proficiency level, which also affects the features they use while composing their essays. As many of the students have either an average or low level of writing proficiency, a framework focusing on persuasive writing needs to be implemented to improve their writing skills. The framework should cover multiple levels. The conceptual model is part of the framework as it provides a step-by-step guide that can be employed by the teachers. In-class tasks should be practical and focus on improving the students' persuasive writing composition and improve their skills. Repetition is necessary for this to work. Thank you.